was you, but you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted.
No escape.
It's you and me.
Somebody help me. There's a feeling trapped and I don't know.
One enemy remaining.
There's no one to save me from this hurt I feel deep within my soul. Think of me and see the things I did. Sold my soul and everything I was to the lowest bid. You go into your poison, don't get every single time. You got into my mind. You got into my mind.
Let's play.
Spike down, B.
All I ever wanted was you. But you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why
One enemy remaining.
it's tainted. So how can I fix this?
Take me in slow, breathe me in and let me go. Filling the lungs inside you. And the black and white.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Tanek127 and welcome back to Tanek FPS. And guys, in today's video, I am bringing you my VALORANT console beginner's guide. Now, at the time of making this video, I have about 100 plus hours on VALORANT on PlayStation 5 and a little bit over 40 hours on the Xbox platform. So I have played VALORANT on both consoles for a pretty good amount of time. I'm no expert, but I do have enough experience and knowledge to, give you some starter tips and tricks and talk about some things I have learned playing VALORANT console. Now, if you want more VALORANT content, I want to encourage you to subscribe here to the channel. We're doing a giveaway at 1,000 subs, and I would love to have you be a part of the community. I'm solely focused on the console version. Waited a long time for this, but without further ado, we're not going to waste any more of your time. So, over this guide, I'm going to talk about a few different things. We're going to go into the menu, and we're going to talk about controls. We're going to talk about crosshairs. Then we're going to talk about characters and utilities, weapons, and then positioning, shooting, and all of that fun stuff. So that's the order I'm going to try and do things in. Feel free to skip around in the video. If you don't want to watch the whole thing and you just need to be checking out a certain section. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on into it. So we're going to start with a control scheme that I recommend. So me personally, I recommend using the preset called VALORANT, but there's one thing I want you to change, and that is your crouch button. Now, for some reason, when you turn on VALORANT, crouch will be set to your left stick. If you've played any other shooter on console, go ahead and set it to your right stick. That'll feel more comfortable and natural to you. If you've played Battlefield, Fortnite, anything that that uses that, or if you run the tactical controls on Call of Duty, that'll feel very familiar to you. Another reason I recommend to run the VALORANT controls is because there's another control scheme everyone uses where left stick will switch to your knife. And that's because there's no sprint in VALORANT. The way how you sprint and move faster is you pull out your melee weapon. Notice here I'm moving with my pistol. This is the fastest I move. When I pull out my melee weapon, my character's movement speed increases. That's why you always see when you see people play in VALORANT, you see them switching between their weapon and melee all the time. It's not just, to be fancy and show off knives. That's the reason they're switching, to get some increased movement speed while they're going through a certain area. Just so you guys know, a little tip for you right there. So that's another thing you want to practice too, swapping between your gun and your melee, so that way you know good spots to move faster, good spots to slow down and prep yourself. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Find a control scheme that's good for you, but VALORANT with right stick as crouch, that's the personal one I run. But we'll go ahead and keep going here. Now, another thing that I recommend, this is going to be up to you. There are two different types of aim in Valorant console. Let me go ahead and show you guys here. I'm going to go ahead and just buy a weapon so y'all can see. Valorant has an aim called focus mode. It's like a slightly zoomed in hip fire. And that's because Valorant has always been a point and click style shooter. It's mainly a PC game. They adapted it to console, and they wanted to bring that experience that PC has to console players as close as possible. You can traditionally ADS in Valorant. So here you go. This is how you do that. However, these two different schemes, I'll go in here and show you guys. Go back to settings, head over to controls, scroll down to aim, and then you're going to go to focus or ADS priority. If you put it on focus mode, and I've went over this in a video, this is what your ADS is going to look like. Like I said, it's just a slightly better hip fire. If you set it on ADS, well, you're going to aim down sights the way I was before. Now, me personally, because of how console players are, console and, with controller and keyboard and mouse are two different types of control schemes that take on two different types of play styles. I personally feel like the meta's play styles and, movement, aiming, and shooting done in Valorant console over time is going to evolve and turn out different. So, me personally, I go ahead and I just use traditional ADS, prioritizing ADS mode like in a normal shooter. However, if you do like focus mode better, you are more than welcome, to experiment with that and try it out. There are some people out there, it's been in debate for a while since the game went into beta. Some people like focus mode better, and then there are guys like me who like ADS mode better. You just have to mess with them both and really see which one meshes for you. But yeah, that's all I can say about that. Everyone's gonna be different. Now, another tip and trick, since we're on the topic when it comes to moving and shooting here, Valorant has a really interesting tactic to it. All right, when they take these tactical shooters, they want to be their attempt is to always be as realistic as possible when it comes to the gunplay. When you play Valorant, you want to avoid moving and shooting. For example, see how when I move around, my gun just sprays everywhere. You guys see that? If you look at the bullets on the back wall. But if I stay still and I'll look here carefully, the bullets are steady, even in hip fire. Like look how accurate that is, even in hip fire. Now when I ADS, it's even more accurate. See that? That's because when you move and shoot in this game, it drastically messes with your accuracy. The best thing to do when you're playing Valorant is you want to put yourself in power positions and good placements and be still while shooting, or at least be moving very slowly while shooting, and that won't ruin your accuracy too much. Now, for the most accurate shooting, as always, you're going to want to be still and crouched. However, keep in mind when you're crouched, you're more vulnerable to get shot in the head because you're a smaller target. Your head's more vulnerable when you're crouched. Now, the next important thing I want to go over in our beginner's guide is your crosshair. Yes, crosshair placement is very important. You're going to want to create a custom crosshair. They have all kinds of options here for you. Me personally, I always recommend to people to use their favorite color because it's scientifically proven that our eyes gravitate towards things we are more attracted to, like our favorite color, or a good-looking human being, or something like that. Just anything you like, a nice car, anything. Your eyes naturally, look at it and go, ooh, and it gets your attention. Well, same thing with your crosshair. Pick a crosshair as a color. That's a color you like. That's just my personal recommendation. Customize to your own personal liking. They got all kinds of options in here. It's they got a really great crosshair maker. I would just highly recommend using it. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to our next section. Next, we're going to talk about the weapons in Valorant. So Valorant matches are all going to be round based. Your first round, whether you're playing team deathmatch, whether you're playing swift play, traditional, or ranked, is always going to be a pistol round. These are your different pistols. Let's go ahead and start with the classic. The classic is your basic, you know, 9mm style pistol. It is probably the least accurate, the worst one out of all the guns. Hence, it's, you know, it being free. Your next one is the Sheriff. The Sheriff, it is pretty accurate when you ADS. However, it is a revolver. It is deadly as hell. This will one-shot kill somebody, but you know, it has a slower reload speed, slower fire rate. You know, all the typical drawbacks that come with a revolver. This is pretty much your Magnum or Desert Eagle style gun of Valorant. Your next one is going to be the Ghost. Now the Ghost, this is everyone's typical go-to. This is your USP or SOCOM pistol, you know, your 45 caliber, nice and simple, very accurate, really good fire rate, decent reload speed, and also it's silenced. This is probably the #1 pistol that most people recommend. The only reason I recommend using the classic is because it gives you an option to buy, you know, extra shields and utility on pistol round, which, you know, if you're not too great with pistols, can save your life. Frenzy. This is your automatic pistol. Alright, if you want that advantage of having automatic fire during pistol round, grab this. But it is not the most accurate thing in the world. Even though it's automatic, you're going to find yourself tap firing this bad boy anyway. Just a heads up. And last but not least, we got the Shorty. You want a shotgun to use during pistol round? Here you go. 2 bullets in the mag. It's a shotgun. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Now let's go over to our next group of weapons. We have 2 SMGs in Valorant. My favorite and go-to is always going to be the Spectre. Silenced SMG, very accurate, good range, wonderful gun. Love it. Probably my favorite gun in the whole game. Like I love this gun more than any of them. The Stinger, 3-round burst SMG only if you are ADSing. If you are hip firing, it is 100% automatic. Now the cool thing about it is this burst fire, as long as you control this burst well and aim for probably, like, you know, I'm gonna say the shoulder up, because you see it goes up and to the left if you aim for the head. You can get pretty easy one-shot kills with this thing. Do not sleep on the Stinger, alright? The Stinger is not the best gun, but if you control the recoil properly, it is deadly. You have two shotguns in the game. Well, technically 3. You know, you have the Shorty for the pistol, but you got the Judge. This is going to be your automatic shotgun, like your AA-12 in Call of Duty. And then, of course, you got the Bucky. Yeah. Y'all already know about Bucky. Okay. Let's go ahead on to our assault rifles. Now, we have 4 assault rifles. The Vandal is an automatic. The Phantom is an automatic. The Guardian is a 1-shot burst, and the Bulldog is a 3-round burst. We'll start with the Vandal. The Vandal is pretty much your typical AK-47. High damage, pretty good fire rate. Does lack in accuracy. You gotta learn to control that recoil, and if you do, it definitely rewards you for it. Very deadly gun. Probably one of the most popular picks throughout the Valorant community, if not the most popular gun. Phantom. This is one of my personal favorites. So probably the only thing I like a little bit more than the Spectre. Very accurate, silenced, a little bit less damaging than the Vandal, but a wonderful gun overall. Very, very accurate, as you guys can see here, especially when you ADS. Even when you know you're hip firing, and as long as you're not moving, like I said, very accurate gun. The Phantom is definitely one of my favorites. Guardian, definitely very accurate, single shot, very powerful. Pretty much a one-tap headshot for everybody. For you foul lovers out there from Call of Duty, this will definitely be your baby. And last but not least, we'll take a look at the Bulldog. Don't sleep on the Bulldog. A lot of people do. Alright. Once again, similar to the SMG, when you use it in hip fire, she's automatic. However, when you aim down sights, she's a burst. A nasty 3-round burst. This is like your M16. Alright. Lovely, lovely gun. Alright. I love the Bulldog. A lot of people sleep on it. You got 3 sniper rifles. The Operator, the Outlaw, and the Marshal. I believe the Outlaw was actually just added a few patches ago. We'll just take a look at all these real quick. I'm not much of a sniper guy, I'm not going to lie, so I'm not going to try comparing any of these, but there's your Operator. Your Outlaw. Alright, she fires 2 shots at a time. And then your Marshal. She's got a pretty fast fire rate. I like her. Okay, I'm gonna use you sometimes, sweetheart. Yeah, look at that fire rate. I like that. And then you got 2 LMGs, light machine guns, the Odin and the Ares. Odin. These are just big, nasty, powerful boys. Ares. Probably a little bit more accurate than the Odin. I definitely prefer the Ares overall. But yeah, that's going to do it for your weapons. Now, let's talk about agents. Alright, your agents are going to be split into 4 groups. You have duelists, you have sentinels, you have initiators, and you got controllers. Alright, these are going to be your controllers. These are your sentinels. Sentinels are like tanks and, and healer style things. They're built for, like controlling and holding down an area. Your controllers, they're more so built for keeping, not holding down the area necessarily, but more so like keeping people out, controlling map flow and stuff like that. These are your guys, with like smokes and a lot of different utility to push people out and stuff like that. Initiators. And then of course you have your duelist. Now duelists, they're the guys that are best in combat. They're usually the ones you want to have planning the spike and all that fun stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory with them. I'm going to be using Jet, who is a duelist, just to show you guys, some of the abilities and stuff like that. Every character has 4 abilities. They also have a passive, but they have one ability. They'll have some type of utility that's either a smoke, a smoke grenade, which is used to like cover an area or cover yourself. Some will have a traditional frag grenade. Jet here, she's a duelist, so she has ability. She has a smoke and a lot of abilities that are based on like movement, getting in and out of combat quickly and stuff like that. A Jet main who knows what they're doing can be nasty and annoying. Just remember that. But smokes, the main thing you always want to know with these, use these to cover yourself or to blind enemies from coming your way. Like for example, let's say let's say the enemy needs to come plant the spike right here, and they have this straight path down here. Well, if I put a smoke here, right, they're not going to be aware of what's behind this door. So most people that have common sense, at least, they're not going to walk through there with a smoke. Now your smoke's only going to last a few seconds, but you use these to block off different pathways and stuff like that. You just got to get strategic with it, with the maps. You're always going to have the map layout right there on your left hand corner. Just learn them, try some different combinations and stuff like that. They're good for just blocking off different pathways, covering yourself. And hell, even if I needed to plant a spike and I didn't want the enemy to see me in there, throw a smoke on myself. I can hide in here. And while I'm hiding in here, right, I can go hide behind, let's say, behind this wall. And they won't know where I disappeared to. I'll be waiting for them to come try and defuse and pop, 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 pop. But yeah, pretty much what you want to do when it comes to Valorant and the characters. A few that I would recommend as as easy beginner characters for you to start with. I'll probably just name about 5 that I think are good for beginners. Sage is pretty much the main healing character you can use in the game. She can heal, she can revive. If you want to just kind of hang back, support the team, and you're trying to learn the game, play Sage. Sage can heal herself. She can heal teammates. You can make yourself useful without doing anything too crazy. Another good one I think for beginners. Some people may not agree, but Raze. And that's because, you know, Raze has some good abilities that can help track enemies, like her little bot right here. She has a typical, you know, just paint splash grenade, which is just, you know, a regular grenade that does like a double explosion. So, you know, your typical frag grenade, and not to mention her ultimate's a rocket launcher. What to do with this character, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. For a third pick for beginners, I would also recommend
Ultimate ready.
recommend good old Deadlock here. Her abilities are real simple. She's very good at tracking enemies, and she can also block off locations real easily. It doesn't take much to be a really helpful Deadlock, especially, you know, if you're paying attention to the map, you know, looking around at what you're doing, and just, you know, just trying to utilize her block off abilities the best that you can. The next one I'm going to recommend for beginners is good old Phoenix here. And the reason for that is because the cool thing about Phoenix is his fire can heal himself. But he's also, you know, a duelist, and he basically, you know, everything he does can annoy and hurt the enemy, but it can heal him. Like everything about him. But yeah, Phoenix, you know, he's a really awesome pick, and I believe Phoenix is free. I believe he's one of the first characters you get. And last but not least, for beginners, I'm probably going to go ahead and just recommend Jet. Jet is a fun, you know, movement-based duelist. She's real, I'm not going to say real easy to play, but she can help you, you know, do a lot of that crazy movement stuff that as a console player that you're probably used to from most shooters. And especially if you build a nice control scheme around with her, Jet will definitely be, you know, someone you can utilize easily here on the battlefield. But anyway, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for some of my beginner tips and tricks for Valorant console. If you're a veteran player, you know, a Valorant console player, or even, you know, someone who's been playing PC for a long period of time, and you feel like I missed something really important in this video, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. Help out your fellow players. Y'all enjoyed today's video? Smash that like. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.